edge. Does anyone want some? Got nuts in it.
Hey, what's up, pups? Happy hump day. It is Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. It's a podcast that just looks at what's happening in the old pop culture area, your movies, your video games, manga, what have you, and, make fun of the stupid stuff that's happening, point out the awesome, nostalgic stuff that may have been bastardized thanks to DEI and woke, all that stuff, and try to figure out ways or at least bring back that dying flame of nostalgia to remind folks that it can be good. It can still thrive. We just got to remove the weeds and everything. But welcome. We usually do this show on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday. I will be heading back home for this week. So after this show, there won't be anything until next week, probably Tuesday, the normal time, 8 p.m. Central Time. All the more reason that if you want to get notified when I go live then, to make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up and ring that bell to get notified when I go live. And also, when I go live doing my game streams, we're playing Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. Awesome series. I think in that game, I feel like we're kind of near the end. I don't know how much longer. I haven't looked into anything. First time playing it, so super fun. But yes, I just appreciate you guys hanging out with me, having a good old time, all that fun stuff. Got some articles here that we can look into, but I'm humbled and blessed that you guys taking the time to hang out with me. So with that being said, some of the stuff that caught my interest involves a new game, apparently, something called The First Berserker. Looked pretty cool. We'll check that out. A UK entertainment union called Equity apparently has set a minimum rate for game performance, and I guess that's like a first time. So we'll look into what that entails. Apparently, a German YouTuber agency told them to make positive edits about Star Wars Outlaws. So we'll look into that. Something that I kind of missed last time, but we'll talk about it now, is apparently English localizers are furious because specifically Shoga Kukan's decision to use AI instead of, their bastardized version of stuff. People are pissed off about that, but good. Replace them. Apparently, director James Mangold is fed up with the multiverse. We'll look into that. And we got some info on games that were released today. So what do we want to start with? Let's start with this one. Let us start from Bounding into Comics. James Mangold. Apparently, Logan and Dial of Destiny director James Mangold is fed up with multiverses. Quoting, "I think it's the enemy of storytelling." I can definitely see that 100% for sure. I've said it in past streams. Definitely with multiverses and anything with time traveling can be used to pretty much bastardize any franchise. And that's what the left has hopped on, or people that just don't care about the franchise. They have hopped on that and utilized that to ultimately rewrite history in the hopes that future generations, when looking back at this stuff, only stop at their version and think of it as the original and where everything came from, and not looking farther because, back in the day, it wasn't equality and all that stuff, so we got to rectify it now, sort of thing. So I do agree with him, but let's see exactly what he's talking about. So the director, James Mangold, stepped into the world of big-budget tentpole IPs with The Wolverine, Logan, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I have yet to actually still see Logan. I definitely don't want to see Dial of Destiny because that's wokeified. But he only ever walked that line sparingly, so to speak. Other than the chaos of Dial's production and script, it can be said Mangold stepped back from the multiverse craziness brought about by Marvel and DC movies in hopes that they'd keep things cooking. Deadpool and Wolverine is a product of that and picks up where his story ended, but it's not his movie and not something he would have signed off on, according to his remarks, Rolling Stone, that comes to us via Movie Maker. It's weird that I've even worked in the world of IP entertainment because I don't like multi-movie universe building, he said. I think it's the enemy of storytelling, the death of storytelling. It's more interesting to people the way the Legos connect than the way the story works in front of us. Concerning his creative approach, he added, "For me, the goal becomes clear always. What is unique about this film and these characters? Not making you think about some other movie or some Easter egg or something else, which is all an intellectual act, not an emotional act. You want the movie to work on an emotional level." Part of what sparked the multiverse conversation with the director in his RS interview was the return of Johnny Cash as a character in his next film, A Complete Unknown, starring Timothy Chalamet. Mangold previously directed Joaquin Phoenix on his Cash biopic Walk the Line, but Phoenix won't play Cash again in some sort of crossover due to his age. Instead, bike riders in the Predator story Boyd Holbrook portraying the Man in Black as a figure in the life of Bob Dylan. I think when you see the movie, Boyd is fantastic and you don't think about it for a second. It's just, oh, there's Johnny Cash and he's in Bob's life, Mangold explained. I love Joaquin, but he's not 30 or whatever Johnny was at this moment. They're both young people at the moment in life. Really? And that's, wow, that's all the art. Man, that was a really short, weirdly abrupt article. I do agree with him to an extent. It's unfortunate because, again, like I just mentioned not too long ago, you have two sides of storytelling when it comes to multiverse and timeline jumping and all that stuff. I get what he's coming from, but there's two people that will utilize it. Certain people will utilize it to rectify any perceived wrongdoing that was done in the past, regardless if that's what made it successful or the fact that it was just an era of that time and without it, it wouldn't even exist today. But they don't care about that. So by utilizing multiverses, time skipping, and all that bullshit, they can change everything to then make it more modern appropriate and hope that they get their money back and people just fall in line because, hey, it's a franchise that you guys like. There's that side. And then I understand his side of what he's getting at. I mean, but from what I heard, Dial Destiny was not good. So, you know, you're not exactly winning brownie points with that one. Whew. Excuse me. And then I guess with his Logan Logan movie, which was I heard it was a really solid movie. I can understand being upset when there's like a supposed continuation of it. But let's see what some of the other comments here say. The multiverse is just a momentary distraction like smell-o-vision. The Hollywood system is so beyond creatively bankrupt and devoid of any fresh ideas that the multiverse, the current band-aid on a shotgun wound, is the newly found distraction through nostalgia and fan service. But it's already wearing out its welcome. Even an absolute tool like Mangold admits this, yet offer him enough money, of course, and that hack will be in the director's care for the next multi-million multiverse grab bag. Yeah, that's true. Want to know what the enemy of a good storytelling? Woke directors like Mangirl. Yeah, I understand. I understand what he's getting at, but yeah, like the dude has no room to talk about stuff, apparently. Like the only good one was apparently Logan. That was back in 2017. Wow. It has been quite a while. I'm so out of the loop on stuff. Fun. So English localizers, furious over Japanese publisher Shogakukan's decision to use AI translation for light novels. They don't care about the works they're ruining. Oh, please. No, the English localizers don't care about the works they're ruining. But let's see what this has to entail. So, a large number of English language localizers are unhappy with Japanese publisher Shogakukan's decision to use AI technology to localize a number of their light novels offers for international readers. Set to launch in North America and Canada sometime near the end of 2024, their newly announced light novel app, Novelus, will offer users access to the publisher's wide library of light novel offering, including Too Many Losing Heroines, Shiotayo's no Sado-san's Gar Ori ni Dake Ama, or Ame, or Amai, and the Frieren Beyond Journey's End prequel novel, Frieren the Novel Prelude. According to the publisher, Novelist will see more than 400 titles added to its library over the next 2 years. And in order to meet this ambitious quota, they decided to use the Mantra AI translation engine to help localize their books. Developed by Japanese tech startup Mantra Company for use on manga and webtoons rather than just providing a literal translation of words like Google Translate or DeepL, the company's eponymous engine takes story, dialogue, and panel context into account to produce more accurate localization. And then here's kind of apparently, I guess, how it kind of works. So from there, the localization is passed off to human editors within Mantra. Yeah, see, there's still human people looking at it for a final review before ultimately being passed off to the source material's publisher. Interestingly, despite full documentation regarding Mantra Co's localization process being easily accessible, popular anime and manga news accounts such as Manga Alert omitted that startup company's human element, thus resulting in Western critics near universally misinterpreting this announcement as confirmation that the publisher would only be using the machine translation for their app. Still, absolutely love that they got butthurt over it because it's true. These people aren't expendable. They're expendable, and when you don't respect and honor the source material and have to hide behind the idea, well, you know, there are certain things over in Japan that just doesn't translate well in America, so we have to find like the equivalent. It always comes from a specific ideology if it's not involved in the story already. So screw them. So apparently there's that. To the end, instead of responding to the impending AI threat by improving the quality of their localizations, a large number of Western-based Japanese to English localizers, many of whom have themselves boasted about having deliberately inserted their own politics and memes into the works they were responsible for, instead focused their energy on raging against Shogakukan's decision to replace them with AI. When there are errors in the front and center marketing, I dread to think of what the bulk of it is going to turn out, like Infinite Dendrogram and Rance X Showdown localizer Andrew Hodges proclaimed. This is what disrespect for the medium and your audience looks like. Nah, not even close. So despite multiple cases where localizers have openly boasted about deliberately and in some cases weaponizing mistranslations, Elden Ring The Road to the Erdtree letterer Greg Deng went as far as to claim this kind of a minor thing relative to the problem that MTL is inaccurate, but this kind of service is also just strictly worse than piracy. Even if you only consider the business side of things, the idea is still flawed. Nah. Now remember, these guys absolutely hate piracy. Remember that as well, because they hate any sort of thing that can preserve what the original origin of whatever it is, you know, that can be accessed. They hate that because then that means their lies and their rewriting of history can be exposed. That's why they're so against piracy and everything, because it somehow affects them. But, like, you know, it's like when voice actors get upset about, oh, you know, I'm against piracy and XYZ when Crunchyroll was literally a piracy a pirate site. And one, they've already been paid for their work. So it's not like, unless they somehow got it written to their contract, it's not like they're getting more residuals or royalty from each DVD that's sold or something like that. Again, unless it's written in their contract, you get a buyout and that's it. So look at this. Look at that right there. Just this June, Shogakukan's announced that it was one of the fund providers for a Tokyo-based AI startup, Mantra, which is focused on the AI translation of JP manga, stated last gender localizer Mishima Kitami. These companies know manga make money. Greed drives them for more profits in their pocket, not quality. Oh my gosh. Dude, the projection from these people are hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Apparently, she goes on by saying it is fundamentally unfathomable to me that these corporations think it is acceptable to have stories written by humans to go through MTL, they added. MTL, that which cannot grasp the fine details of the words crafted through human endeavor. MTL of human art is a spit in all of our faces. No, it's a spit of woke assholes like you. That's what you're upset about. That's what you're really upset about. Then issuing a call to arms, the gender-inclusive advisor then declared, I'm asking you all, the readers and audience in the English-speaking sphere who are against AI and MTL, to drive this app down to rock bottom and into the negatives. Make them regret their decision to disrespect human art. These people disrespect history. So again, the self-awareness of these people are like zero. Absolutely zero. These people do not care in the slightest about their bastardizing of a series. They don't care about this at all. These people are such fucking hypocrites. These people are the worst. I say these people are worse than AI. And I think AI especially has a lot to do with the end times in terms of scripture and biblical prophecy and whatnot. These people are like near par, if not worse, than AI. I'd rather have a soulless machine, at least have a data bank that has all the correct, words or what have you, or however it's programmed, that despite on how stiff it might, at least it's trying to convey what the intent of the original stuff. These people hide behind their stupid, like I said, the stupid, it doesn't translate well to overseas. That's where we come in. It's like, I wouldn't care so much if you guys weren't a bunch of biased assholes, but you guys are. And you've infested this area because that's exactly what you want to do. You want to rewrite history. And the fact that you have to rewrite history, you have to include certain memes, and you have to include a specific ideology, tells me who really disrespects the artwork. Or the art, I guess I should say. Probably the artwork too, because, they'll rule 34 everything. To no surprise, notorious localizer Katrina Leonodakis. Oh, yeah, just look. Oh, geez. Who most recently deliberately botched Sentai Filmworks English localization of 2.5. Oh, okay. Dimensional seduction. I didn't read this, but makes sense. Also joined in on the conversation, asserting, well, at least they were honest. They only care about cutting costs, not about getting readers good translation. Do you think the authors of the light novels would want their intentional fans reading garbled versions of their prose they worked so hard on? She asked. How disrespectful. Well, if that's not the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know what is. Don't get me wrong. The gushing over Magical Girls localizer emphasized, like any tool, machine translations and AI have their uses, but you don't use a jackhammer to nail a painting to the wall. No. That's what you use when you put maps on the wall. MTAI isn't smart or nuanced enough to craft translations that audience want to read and pay for. So instead of sharing her wisdoms on 7C's English language localization process, this weirdo stated, here's the thing about light novels. Because the original text is often available online, Lots of, quote, fan translation groups already publish machine translations of them for free online. So you're giving international fans what they already have. As long as you're not involved with it, then who cares? Again, these people are terrified because they are the ones getting replaced, which is great because you're expendable and you're garbage people because you do not care about accurate translations, only that you have the opportunity to leave your stamp of bastardization in manga. But these companies don't care about that. They don't care about the authors, their customers, or the works they're ruining with machine translations. In the end, all they care about is money. Newsflash, yeah, that's usually what a company cares about because, they want to make a profit. Again, these people are mad just because their work is being threatened. Like, how much of an insult? I mean, it could happen to anybody, and it would hurt, it would sting. But to these people, their entire life, self-worth, and mental spirit would be absolutely shattered if they would go in one day and get called in HR and said, hey, you're being let go. And then you find out later that you're pretty much being replaced by AI. Absolutely hilarious. That's what they're terrified of. And that's why they are bitching about this super hard. And yet the irony of everything is that they deserve to be let go. They deserve to be replaced by AI. Fortunately, the English manga loc scene still dedicating to hiring human translators, editors, and letters to produce high-quality localizations. And now we've got an award ceremony to recognize the humans that bring author work into English with love and respect. As noted above, the Reader app is set to release sometime before the end of 2024. Let's see what some of the comments say. Actually, they care deeply for the works they are saving. As for vocalizers, learn to code. They don't care about the works they're ruining. Are they really not talking about themselves? Yep. Translators, how dare they ruin their art? They put in a Gamergate reference, a speech about patriarchy despite neither subject were in the original script, and try to make a One Piece character trans against the creator's own word. Good riddance. Yep, right there. Good job, James. Way to hit the nail on the head. Solid. Just remember that. Remember that. Anytime you hear these people bitching about that, just think of that person's comment that pointed out. They went against probably the prolific manga creator out there, creator of One Piece, and said, no, you're wrong about your own character. It clearly shows what these type of people and who these type of people are. Moving over to Star Wars, German YouTuber claims advertising agency told him to make positive edits to a Star Wars Outlets preview. Uh-oh. So a German YouTuber has claimed that an intermediary agency encouraged him to give positive coverage to Star Wars Outlaws. Encouraged him. Like threatened him maybe? Dude, if they actually threatened him, that'd be insane. From its outlandishly priced special editions to the unflattering appearance of protagonist, to the absolutely abysmal state of its gameplay, to the fact that its PC release is widely unoptimized, Ubisoft's upcoming Star Wars title has been struggling to endear itself to players pretty much from the moment it was announced. And now, it seems like its struggle is only destined to get worse, as it appears an advertising agency hired by Ubisoft to promote Star Wars Outlaws is pressuring online influencers into giving the game favorable coverage. So German YouTube channel Piet Smiet, I don't know if I'm pronouncing like that, co-host Peter Smits, announced to the channel's followers, as machine translated via DeepL, "Hi, Peter here. We're taking the Star Wars video offline, not because we wanted to sweep something under the carpet or anything, but because it should never have been published, and we don't want it on the channel. We'll talk a bit more about it in the next Pietcast episode. I'm sorry. In light of this vague explanation, several users proceeded to accuse both Smits and his co-host Dennis Brahman, the latter of whom actually played and produced the preview, are having their opinions bought off by Ubisoft. As summarized by YouTuber user Wandercraft, the complaints against the channel revolved around the fact that Brahman was allowed to play Outlaws and recorded 4 hours. A 1-hour video was cut from it, but the advertising agency didn't like it. So it was shortened to 20 minutes, and they apparently had to cut it in the required wording, including a call for pre-orders. It annoyed a lot of people because Piet Smiet is always against pre-ordering, etc., and it came across as if their opinion was for sale. Eventually, this backlash would draw a response from Brahman himself, who in an apology to his viewers admitted, "I completely understand the arguments being made here, and that wasn't right. I had the opportunity to play the game for 4 hours, and it was edited into over an hour of video." He then explained, as part of the review process, the entire video was thrown back at us, and an intermediary agency, not Ubisoft, asked for a lot of changes, especially to the wording at the beginning. Since I personally thought the game was really cool, I didn't see the big problem with that, he defended. This was a huge miscalculation. Sorry, of course, you don't have to pre-order a game. You can, of course, buy whatever you want with your money. I absolutely enjoyed the version I was shown. The process behind it was for the ass, a German colloquialism meaning in vain, and I'm sorry that we didn't push against it, but let ourselves be beaten wide open. Sorry for that. So notably, if his claim of advertising agency pressure is true, this would render any and all previews and eventually Star Wars Outlaws completely suspect. And eventual reviews, That is more so than they already are given how Ubisoft previously hosted a number of online influencers and reviewers for a lavish preview event in Los Angeles. Further, this overreach by Ubisoft to ostensibly buy good press elicits memories of the original Gamergate, as game journalists giving unjust praise to curry favor with major publishers was a major complaint among those aligned with the consumer revolt. And then in 2020, Polygon editor Ben Kuchera claimed that not only were his reviews being rewritten by the site's editor-in-chief, but that he was also being pressured into changing his review scores during a subsequent off-kilter rant that lasted 4 hours. He stated, "I'm getting so many messages about corruption in games media, and these folks are right." Yep. There you go. I want to know what they were trying to offer them. Like what? You'll get early access? Wasn't one of them you get to go to, I don't know, the Star Wars area of Disneyland or something like that? Who knows? The thing is that absolutely no way these companies would be able to hold up any sort of piece of lavish meat or anything like that in order to give people to give good praises to this game. This game is absolute garbage. It looks terrible. It plays terrible. It's shit. And they know it. And now they're so desperate that this is claiming that Ubisoft, it just happens to, this is what I don't get. So Ubisoft is claiming, well, they're not part of, I don't know if Ubisoft is, but what we just read, it made it, where is it? Let's just find exactly. Oh, here it is. No, Brahman straight up said this. As part of the review process, the entire video was thrown back at us as an intermediary agency, not Ubisoft, asked for a lot of changes. So wait, he did a review and then just some random agency came in and said hey, you need to change this stuff? Just out of the blue? This doesn't make sense to me. If an intermediary agency, Is that like actually what they're called? Because he's saying like Ubisoft didn't do this, but is Ubisoft like, is this someone that's working for Ubisoft? And then when they see stuff like this, they go there on behalf of Ubisoft. An intermediary agency is an agent or agency that acts between persons, parties, etc. It is deemed to be passive, predictable, and incapable of effective change. That is, unless they become acted upon by mediators. I mean, this is the definition I found. So if it's between parties, then it is between Ubisoft. So why is this guy saying, oh, it wasn't Ubisoft? Well, if they're the ones that sent the agency over, then they're speaking on behalf of Ubisoft. Dude, just tell them to go fist themselves. Seriously. Especially if it's just some rando agency that like pops up out of nowhere and was like, hey, we saw your review, and we highly recommend that you change some of the stuff or something. Then you just go, I highly recommend you take your fist and insert it up your anus and then get the hell out of my, my DM feed. Because why should I listen to you? Insane. Again, it just goes to show on how much they know this game's going to fail. If now these type of agencies are going around telling people that they need to change and make positive edits for your Star Wars Outlaws preview. So why you don't agree? See, at this point, man, there's someone out there. I wish there was someone out there who had a really good lawyer, like and was like, maybe one of these companies reach out to you and be like, hey, we'll give you exclusive access and playtime for this game that's coming out soon. You just got to write a good preview about it and all that stuff. So you do all that. And then you get your lawyer to read over the contract and see what legal ways you can say to rip this game a new asshole if it sucks. Because some of these people don't read like the contracts that they set, or like an NDA or whatever that they send over. Man, there just needs to be that one person who like finds gray areas that they can really stretch to the extreme and just rip them a new asshole. If not, then just say no. Don't be lured in by the money. Just say no. But you know who apparently, for the first time, got minimum rates for game performance? It's the UK entertainment union Equity. Recommends minimum rates for game performers for the first time. Apparently, this comes from Video Game Chronicle. Its Game On campaign is fighting to, quote, improve working conditions in the industry. So this is the Performance Art and Entertainment Trade Union Equity. Apparently, they've recommended minimum rates that have been set for the first time. Equity's Game On campaign, which is designed to, quote, fight for better pay, terms, and conditions for UK performers working in video games. The recommended minimum rates, which are intended for performers working on AAA titles, include £300 per hour for voice work, £1,000 per day for ensemble recording, and a maximum of 2 hours per session for, quote, vocal stressful voice work. All right, let's look up the equivalent here. Man, I wish my buddy Eric was here because he'd have information about this. Let's see, pounds to dollars. All right, so 300. All right, so this would be $380 and like pretty much 50 cents, 4.46 cents for voiceover work. So that would be a minimum. So minimum 380 for the voiceover work. $1,268.20 per day for the ensemble recording. And a maximum of 2 hours per session for vocal stressful voice work. All right, so what do we say? 380. So 380 per hour, and it's saying you get a max of 2 hours per session. So 380 times 2, what is that? 760? Just so people know, I'm really terrible at math. 380 times 2. Yeah, 760. So that's $760 dollars in if you're recording like a day. Now, a lot of times, depending on where you are, they try to do it all in a day. But it's curious because I'm under, like, why is it saying maximum? This says maximum, but then up here it says minimum. So which one is it? Minimum rates. But they get maximum recording of 2 hours per session. I mean, obviously, like the more recording sessions you have, you're going to be making some nice bank, especially for your ensemble. Anyway, according to Equity, I mean, $780 for 2 hours of voice recording. It's not too shabby. So according to Equity, the publication of the rates, quote, is intended to address systemic low pay for performers working the video game in the UK, where pay has stagnated, not kept up with the rate of inflation. It also claims that performer pay in the UK is significantly lower than the United States and Canada, despite Equity members being engaged by the same global companies. Prior legislation prevented Equity from publishing recommended minimum rates when there was no collectively bargained agreement, the union claims. So the strength of feeling from union members to improve the current state of play in games is palpable, said Shannon Sailing. Her last name is really Sailing. Equity's industrial officer for audio and video games. Industry valued at 7.82 billion, I'm assuming, and that is in receipts of tax relief, must recognize the value that its workforce brings to the games industry. Our members are no longer going to sit back and accept low rates of pay, unsafe work environments, and poor terms and conditions. Okay. Then leave. Then quit. Again, these people are expendable, but that's why unions are there. Because they apparently can do a better job than most people, which definitely not the case. Especially the ones that when they go with, non-union people, then there are literal people out there who get hired to literally stand outside and protest, union, we demand union pay, and all that shit. We are encouraging our members to know their value and demand change now to ensure that the UK games industry continues to be recognized in the global games market. I truly understand where they're coming from. Obviously, everyone wants a fair pay. Everyone wants reasonable conditions, good terms and agreement. I understand that. But these people are fools if they actually think that the people who benefit the most from unions actually care about the lower, like the people beneath them. They don't. That's the catch. That is the catch. It's gotten to the point where those people, they will make bank and they'll do whatever they can to stay up there and not care about the people down below. That's the truth. So Equity's rates arrive in the midst of an ongoing strike by its U.S.-based sister union, SAG-AFTRA, whose members have been on strike since July 26 after it failed to negotiate acceptable protection around the use of AI. Many of the issues experienced by SAG-AFTRA members are shared by Equity members, such as the threat of artificial intelligence. Yeah, because if you're a shit actor and you're getting paid and you're demanding more payment, but you're still giving the shit performance, you don't deserve that pay. That's where I believe that your ass is expendable. You're fired. Go, because there can be someone out there who will be like, fuck it. I know how to take care of myself, and even though this is bad, I can make this work for me. I'll do it. However, unlike in the US, there's no collectively bargain agreement in the UK with video game companies to set union agreed minimum rates and pay performers fairly. Well, there you go. Yeah. They preach good things, they say good things that sound good, but in the end, who really benefits from this? Because again, you got the people going on strike. There's literally the low people who maybe are at the just made union or are super close to making union. And then you have these union people telling you, you better not take any jobs, don't be a scab or anything like that, because then you'll get blacklisted. They don't care that you got bills to pay. You can't work because, it's for the cause. We're making the right point. At the end of the day, pay the bills, pretty much die. Die, but hey, at least you went out knowing that you did it for the right cause. I'm paying the bills. We see how expensive California is. Shit. All right, this actually caught my eye. The first Berserker, Kazan, reveals 2025 release with new chunk of gameplay. So publishers Nexon and developer Neopol, it's really close to nipple, revealed a release window and a new chunk of gameplay for the first Berserker, their new single-player action RPG set in the Dungeons Fighter Online universe. It's now launching in 2025 for Windows PC, Xbox Series XS, PS5, though a firm release date isn't confirmed. Here's a rundown on the game, plus new gameplay and behind-the-scenes video. So, Kazan and Ozma, the heroes who saved Pelos Empire from Hishmir the Berserk Dragon and the Dragon Legion. Wait, that's a weird statement. However, General Kazan, falsely accused of treason, becomes a wretched outcast as he is condemned to exile beyond the Empire through brutal torture. So it's dealing with the story of Ozma and Kazan. You'll become the hero Kazan, the ancestor of all slayers, and the one who defeated Hishmir, the Berserker Dragon, in proceeding to uncover the truth of his downfall within the Empire. Hardcore action role-playing game. Experience DNF's frantic hack-and-slash style mixed with hardcore action. As Kazan devastating battles await you. Do you like me, my hack-and-slash? It's an RPG with various equipment and perks to customize your way of growth. Can upgrade not only character abilities, but also combine different types of weapons and armor abilities to match your playstyle. You must prevail, you must remember, and you must reclaim.
Help me!
All right, check it out, shall we? You guys see that? Oh, yeah.
Stop.
Okay, like what? Does it... Okay, clearly a crash. Something crashes. It's a lot of dead people. Okay, walking through the forest. Snowing, coughing up blood. It's not good. I don't know if I'll get flagged for copyright here. Ooh, hello. There you go. Apparently we're being summoned by this guy. Our blood is apparently being absorbed. Alright, here we go. Let's get some gameplay in there. See, these are trailers I actually like. To me, I don't need to see it too long. I just want to see gameplay, you know. Giving me a trailer that's just cut, you know, in-game cutscenes doesn't do anything. I want to see actual gameplay. Liking it so far. Looks solid. I like the style. It is hack and slash, so this guy's being quite defensive. Go on the onslaught and just start slicing and dicing people up. Let's go. there like a counter? Okay. That was a weird cut. Alright. Kind of figured there should have been like an execution style. He just jumped down and slashed him. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. And it's probably the beginning of the game, so you obviously probably aren't the strongest or anything like that.
Soul accepted. Now
Definitely giving off Dark Souls sort of vibes. I don't know how extreme it is in terms of Dark Soul. Ooh, here's a big dude. Okay. Not seeing like a stagger meter or anything. Get in there. Okay, I'm a tad disappointed. Like, is there not like a counter thing, like an off balance sort of thing? Seems like there should be. Like, to me, when I think of hack and slash, it's like, I want to go ham. I want to just start Frank Castling everything my way, you know? There you go. Nice. Very cool. I mean, I'm still definitely intrigued by it. Maybe I'll pick it up. But there you go. If that game looked interesting to you, maybe check it out. What's up, Tomby? What up, brother? Hope you are well. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Just trying to do the Lord's work, you know. Be heading back home tomorrow, but still have some work that needs to be done. All that fun stuff. Hope you're doing well, man. So this day in gaming, let's take a look at what games have been released. I saw some good ones. Dragon Ball Z 3 Risen Jinzo Ningen. I actually played this game. I actually have a copy of it. It covers the Android saga of Dragon Ball Z. I actually it's kind of like a card battle sort of game. I really like that type of games. There's one I've been holding off, but I'll probably start playing as soon as Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Dentetsu, I believe it's what it's called, for Super Nintendo. All good, not long, wrapped up a stream. Nice. Good to hear, brother. Very nice. That's a great Super Famicom game. What other games do we have in here that kind of stands out for us? What I posted on my thumbnail, Alien Hominid was released. And that just makes me think the good old days of Newground. Back in the old day when you used to watch, you know, stick figure fights, you know, Pico, Alien Hominid. Those were the days, man. I miss those days. Can we just go back to that? Can we just reset the world to go back there? Where it was like, you know, you're starting to get old and understand the way the world works, but you're still delusional enough to not give a shit and that you can just play games and stuff. Apparently, WWF Betrayal for the Game Boy Color. That probably is garbage. Here you go. Alien Hominid. Good game. Run and gun. I like those type of game. Oh, Razafon? It's actually a really good anime. I didn't know they had a game. PlayStation 2? Huh. What type of game is that? That is, excuse me, an action-adventure game. Huh. I doubt there's probably an English translation. But who knows? Maybe there is. Let's see, anything else catching the eye? Crazy, if you're a crazy taxi person. Oh, here you go. Tales of Vesperia. That's a good one. Got your Fire Emblem. Do. Why is Darksiders 2? Oh, that's cheap. Don't put the season pass. Who cares about that? Put the actual game. I actually never finished Darksiders 2, and I heard Darksiders 3 was garbage. Alas. I liked Darksiders 1, even though you had to, like, essentially loop yourself all the way around. Annoying, but I could tolerate it. Getting into 2017 territory. Yeah, now we're getting into garbage territory. Amazing on how when, like, you get up to this 2023, 2004... everything is garbage. Well, that was from Moby Gaming. Let's see what this day in gaming from Game FAQs have, or I always say Game Facts. Oh gosh, Batman and Robin. Hey, Tenshu too. Birth of the Stealth Assassin. I actually am really interested in playing that series. Alien Hominid. Fire Emblem's Shadow Dragon. If you like Monster Rancher, came out. Tales of Vesperia, like I mentioned. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. I feel like I heard that game, but I don't know like what it's based on, and I feel like it's not good. But there you go. Let's see. We didn't do yesterday. Let's see on August 6th what games were released there. Hey, Metroid. There you go. Oh, Dragon Ball Z Gaiden, Saiyajin Zetsumetsu, or Zetsumetsu, Keikaku. There you go. Which one is this one? This is... what does this one cover? I feel this one covers the Saiyan Saga? Secret of Mana. Ooh, really good game. I like Secret of Mana. I played with it with the patch because it definitely could have been improved, but the patch actually made it a lot more smoother, so I would definitely recommend that. Should be able to still get it from ROM hacking, and that link should be in my Secret of Mana playthrough on YouTube. I think on Rumble as well. Braid. I remember that game. That game was a big hit back when I was in college. 2008. Yep. Got your Madden. I feel like Dragon's Crown was like supposedly a good one, but it kind of wasn't. And then you got Tales of Zillia. Man, a lot of tails coming around. Get some tail if you catch my drift. And then I tried looking up like any movies that were released today, and I really couldn't find any ones that were pretty cool. Well, we're coming up on an hour here, so that's kind of all I had for today's show. Let's see if we can find anything else here. I feel like Mounting into Comics had some good. Oh gosh, did you guys see that new like trailer on X with like the new Ring of Power and how it literally looks modernized and it looks like hot garbage? Oh dear Lord, that looked awful. That looked absolutely terrible. Twitch streamer Kai said he's rejected multiple stream requests from Kamala Harris. Ooh, smart move. Smart move. Futurama star Joe DiMaggio responded, fans unhappy with recent seasons. Just zip it. I read this one. He pretty much said, oh, it was always like this. So nothing too big on it. But again, you know, you kind of got the delusion of these actors who think that they understand why a show was so popular and that, oh, you know, we'll just do what it is. I mean, I got it open. So 12th season of Futurama faces mixed reviews. And then John DiMaggio. Where have you gone, John DiMaggio? Or is it DiMaggio or DiMaggio? Voice of Bender and Marcus Phoenix from the Gears of War games that were dope. So apparently, since it's came back from its official cancellation of 2008, it's been criticized for being too current with recent stories such as parodying of the Apple iPhone NFT craze long after they were relevant to the real world. True. So he responded by telling him to just zip it. You know, people always like it's not as good as the first couple of seasons. I mean, that's usually is the thing with any season that goes super long. Look at The Simpsons. It's the same people working on it, same writer, same everything. Just people think they know everything. Just it doesn't mean that just because the same people are working on it means that they've made good takes on things. Like, come on, John, you know better than that. You should know better than that. That's just being delusional. Joining him in defending the show was David Herman, who voices numerous characters, including Dr. Wernstrom and Scruffy the janitor. It's always been so topical. It's always been social parody. It's always been about the moment that we're in. That's science fiction in general. Yes, but again, you can have shit takes, or you can have a specific take that a lot of people don't really like. So John then further declared it continues to do this season. So if people don't like it, take a walk. They can jump in a lake. They can fly a kite. So he quickly wrote out the criticisms, but they're far from fringe opinions that he dismisses them as. After all, it wasn't until well past season 6 that the show went into a more topical direction, and one favoring a specific political party. Yep. Season 7, Decision 1312, which basically just favorably parodied former President Barack Obama's original presidential campaign. And then in Season 12, it began teasing to future satirical takes on everything NFTs, the Survivor thriller Squid Games, and to the Fry Festival debacle. Some fans sees these references to the contemporary issues as straying too far from the show's original charm, in the process dating these recent episodes far harder than their predecessors. But other particular critics believe that these episodes can deliver the classic Futurama comedy. And then, but rather than see the show's turn towards ever more contemporary stories as detrimental, DiMaggio and Herman argue Futurama's topical humor is what makes it fresh and insightful. Yes, as by addressing current events and trends, the show offers its audience a different lens through which to critique the world. The thing is that if it's leaning towards a political party side, then it's not showing a different lens because you've labeled the other side as, you know, scum and all that stuff. Reflects the times, and you know, I mean, we're living in kind of some funky ass times right now. Season 12 can get a little dark. There's comedy in there too. There's funny and dark sometimes, you know. We know. But a specific slide has stated that when a certain side does that, it's terrible, it's inhumane, it's oppressive, it's XYZ, but when the other side does it, it's fine. That's the problem. Again, I think just delusional. Let's see. That's Park Place. Oh, yeah, I saw that weirdo trying to attack Gary from Neurotic. I didn't super look into it. I just figured it was retarded. Oh, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy ready to retire, but is waiting for a win, according to the Entertainment Analysis. You're going to, yeah, purposely probably said that so that she can continue doing it forever. She doesn't want to win. Henry Cavill, talks to playing Wolverine after Cameo. That'd be interesting. I think we'll end on that though. Again, we had some awesome games that were released today, so definitely the ones I listed, you should definitely check it out. I think they're fun. But thanks to everyone who joined me. Again, I will not be online till probably next Tuesday. So if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe, smash that thumbs up, and make sure to turn on notifications when I go live, whether that's game streaming or the show, the Power Up Podcast, going back home for over this week. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And if you're on X, you can feel free to give me a follow if you so wish. And in that link tree in my bio or in the description over on Rumble and YouTube, you can find my other social media there. But yep, I think that will be it for today. So thanks again for hanging out with me, you guys. Is anybody online? Can we do some any redirecting or anything before we sign off? Apparently side scrollers is on. Let's raid side scrollers. And then over on Rumble, I think we'll go ahead and raid side scrollers. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.